So if you look at Asia Pacific, and especially in some of the emerging markets in this region, you will realize that there are many banks that are beginning to come up. All right. And the adoption of technology in these banks are basically at the same pace at what you may see in other more developed markets, which basically means they will probably have the opportunity to adopt digital banking in all its glory faster than some of those players in the emerging markets. I think the interesting trend you will see today is that a lot of banks are now investing a lot of efforts into mobile delivery of banking services. And even banks that are incumbently large in their branch network are basically building mobile channels for customers to interact with the bank. This is interesting. I mean, over the last 2 days, I think in the banking forum that we were here today, you will realize that there were many banks today that are showcasing mobile capabilities where their customers really can interact with the bank in real time, anytime, anywhere. I think in the past when we talk about anytime, anywhere, it is like, okay. But today it is clearly anytime, anywhere. You go up on the train, you bring up your phone, and you're doing your transaction. So I believe this is probably going to be the next phase of growth, and I think this will be very exciting for the region as more and more banks begin to adopt mobile technology or mobile digitalization capability to enhance their reach to their customers. Mobile also allows the bank to collect data, really big data, and that leads to allow them to be very strong in their analytical capability and therefore moving on to other areas of digitalization, including AI. So I would say that this is probably going to be the biggest growth in this region, bearing in mind that the number of SIM cards in this region far surpasses the population that we have today. I think when you say challenges, I presume you are referring to innovations and transformation. All right. And I would like to quote this, which I quote yesterday. And I think, in innovation, sometimes if you're running behind a car, you get tired. And if you're running in front of the car, you get exhausted. Basically, the point here is this. If you are behind what your competitors are doing, all right, your bosses and your stakeholders will ask you, why are we not there yet? If you are running ahead of them, all right, your bosses and your stakeholders will then ask you, are you investing in the right area? So I guess today, for a lot of banks today, the biggest challenge is, where do I put my money to pursue innovations? Do I adopt a Me Too attitude, or do I want to be a leader of the pack? Bearing in mind that if you are a leader of the pack, you could be running 100 innovations, of which 99 will fail. And would you be able to afford that kind of investments? If you are running behind the car, where innovations have gone slightly ahead of you, then at least you will have a chance to decide that this works, this doesn't work. I can make this better. Of course, then your bosses will be asking you, why are you so slow? So I guess the biggest challenges for banks today is on which side of the car do I want to be? Do I want to be ahead of the car, where I'll be very tired, or do I want to be behind the car, where I'll be equally exhausted? So I think the question here is, in what position do you want to bring your organization to? And I guess the answer would greatly depend on what exactly is the aspiration, the capability, and the segments of customers that a bank is actually doing today.